Okay, here I am live early in the morning. My clock says 6:56 a.m. Eastern time. I'm an early riser, so here I am, and I don't know if anybody's listening to me. Oh yes, Woodland Goblin is there. I can't believe it. Hey, Woodland Goblin, first one. Paulina, wow, wow. Hello, everybody's here early. Well, a few people are. Well, yeah, my voice. I don't know. These are the first words I'm saying during the day. I don't know how my voice sounds. To me, it sounds kind of like you're just getting up. A little thick. These are the first words I'm saying. I was up for about I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. Hello, Fred. Hello, Dan in the UK. Hello, Tony. Pauline is still up. Hasn't gone to bed yet. Hmm. Looking at somebody, they have a thing here called pin message. I wonder what happens if you pin the message. I'm looking at the commands here, on trying to see what that does. How can Joe not have a cup of Joe in the morning? Well, I tell a story about, I was never a big coffee drinker. I had maybe two cups a week or something like that. But back in 2014, way back in 2014, almost 10 years ago, I drank a lot of coffee at a diner. I don't know if the coffee was bad or something was bad, but later that evening, I puked my brains out coffee all night, and I haven't had coffee since 2014 as a result of that. So, wait a minute, I could hear, I'm sorry about the sounds. I could hear like my tongue is thick, but yeah, Eli, sitting to the doors early in the morning. Hello, Jose. All right. Alrighty. So I got more people here than I thought I would. Well, there were only 11 people here. 10 now. You want to be sure to lose a person. Just say I've got X amount of people here. Then you'll have at least one or two check out. Liam, eggs and bacon with bagels is how I do it. Okay. I should have put my Paul McCartney tug of war display up. I'm going to put my tug of war McCartney display probably right over this area here. You're only going to be able to see it when I do this. Although I wonder if I, whoop, just got a little message. Get out of here. Stop bothering me. Okay. Okay. Cherry Carter, hello. You watched Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy Friday night, huh? What did you think of Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy? The Mummy looks terrible. There's not a lot of mummy action. The mummy's not featured very often, but I think Abbott and Costello have some funny moments in it. It's one of their last movies, so they look pretty old. Okay, James, hello. James Gracia asked me, "Good morning. How is Joe, the Bazooka Joe from the record store? Have you heard?" I have not heard anything yet. I expect to go over there today, maybe make a trip to the store. So maybe I will see him there or be able to find out how he's doing. Great. Paulina says that's a great find, that tug of war display. Yes, indeed. I didn't say it in the video, but I actually got it from one of my viewers who doesn't, I don't think, wants to really be known that it came from this person. So, excuse me. Back bacon and beer. Hello. Do you think we'll get a now and then a red and blue announcement in the next few days? Geez, I told you. Well, I didn't tell you. But I've said before, I think I'm getting to the point where I don't even care anymore. I know that sounds I really don't. I mean, of course, when the time comes, I'll be excited and I'll see what they're gonna put out. But I mean, I'm getting to the point where, back in August, we thought this was gonna happen, this announcement. This is crazy. And now I've heard rumors that the Now and Then isn't coming out until December. I don't know if that's true. I do not know if that's true, but that's the latest talk. But Ringo Starr did a little interview, and they asked him about Now and Then, and he said, it's been done for a while, and he said it should have been out already. And he says he doesn't know what the holdup is, but he basically said, in effect, I can't do anything about it. Whenever they decide the time's right to put it out, they'll put it out. So that's what he said about that. And there have been rumors going around that something's going to happen on John's birthday. By the way, speaking of John's birthday, October 9th, some of you may want to know that we're going to be doing Talk More Talk, the return of Talk More Talk. We're going to be doing a show dedicated to John Lennon on October the 9th, live at, I believe, the usual time we used to do, live 9 p.m. Eastern. So Talk More Talk will return. Um, is my audio working? Because I don't think the audio is working. Can you hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me, folks. All right, because it's weird. Is the audio the same as it was before? Has the audio gotten any less, or is it the same as it was all along? Because I'm noticing the little series. Oh, there it is. A little series of green dots with the audio, and it just there's like six dots, and only one green dot is lighting up with my voice. All right, thank you, thank you. Okay, uh, okay. I'm reading some of your comments here about the Abbott and Costello beat the Mummy. Yes, the Mummy was in a suit. I disagree. Reaction at one stage was I can't understand it. I disagree. Reaction one stage was Three Mummies. Final scene the band where Mummies film was okay. All right. Glad the sound is okay. I was worried about that. So I don't know if anybody could tell, but I really kind of like over here. Well, you would never be able to tell, but over here, I really reorganized my DVD. These are my DVD movies, and later on you get some Blu-rays down here. But I fixed it because I finally got my movie channel name. I know. A lot of you out there are saying, "Yeah, right, right, sure." You're going to change your movie channel name, right? Like you always do. I got the one I like. I got the one I like. Mayo's Offbeat Movies, because I've decided that, as you can see by this little head here, the jigsaw head from the Saw series. I like movies that are horror, science fiction, cult. You know, I don't know, detective spy. Like offbeat kind of stuff mainly. So it's going to be Mayo's offbeat movies. That doesn't mean necessarily that not going to talk about normal movies. It doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about Gone with the Wind, or I'm not going to talk about Citizen Kane or stuff like that, Casablanca. But those will be just like my Mean Mr. Mayo channel. Mean Mr. Mayo. Here, I talk primarily about the Beatles, not only the Beatles. other stuff too, but it's mainly a Beatles focus. Just like my movie channel is mostly a horror, science fiction, fantasy, offbeat, weird kind of vibe to it. All right, all right. Liam is asking favorite Sopranos episode. Well, probably a lot. Well, my favorite Sopranos episode is the one that a lot of people cite as the best, the Pine Barrens episode, where Christopher and Paulie go after a Russian guy and they get lost, stranded in the snow all night in the woods. Excuse me. Dan wants to know any plans to travel now that I'm retired. I am not a traveler and I don't care about traveling. I really don't. I've never been a traveler, and I guess that's a good thing because it doesn't cost any money not to stay put. I'm not a traveler, and no, no plans at all. If it happens, it happens. I'm fine with that. But like I said, like some people know in November next month, it's coming up fast. I got to go to Oklahoma for my niece's wedding, and and even though I love my niece, and even though I want to be with see my family, I haven't seen my mother in a long time. My mother doesn't live in Oklahoma. She's in Florida, but she's going to be there. I'm not looking forward to the flight, the plane. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to going there. I really wish it was right here. I'm not a traveler. Am I going to watch the upcoming Scorsese film, Flowers of the Killer Moon? Maybe, maybe. I'm looking for something new to watch, or whenever I see something new in the movie theater. There's an example, right? There's an example of a movie that's not horror, science fiction, fantasy, or weird, or something silly or crazy. But I'm gonna review it. If I see it, I'll review it on my channel, even though it's dedicated mostly to those genres I just said. Excuse me, my nose. Hold on. Just did a big snort off mic. Anyway, so yeah, but looking whenever I see movies, I'm looking for something. I usually see movies that have older actors, or by certain older directors. It's very little new stuff that I like. So let's see. Back bacon. I'm sorry, back bacon and beer. Says Richard Deacon was good in it. Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Yes, he was. Well, who's really? I like that woman is kind of hot. That one that's got that Cleopatra hairdo. I forget her name already. Marie Windsor. Marie Windsor with the brunette, beautiful brunette, who's in Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Love her. Um, Cherry Carter asked, "Do you think they should have marketed those nasty little dolls from Trilogy Terror? I'd buy one. I got news for you. They have. I don't know if it's easy to find one, but I've seen them, and I think they did market them. I actually would not buy one. It's funny. Um, well, maybe I would. I don't know, but of course, my girlfriend saw the episode and she was freaked out. She does not like horror. And that kind of upset her, and she said, I said, "Well, I should get one of those dolls and put it in the house." And she's like, "No, you won't. No, you." And she lets me buy anything. In fact, she's told me that I can take posters and things of the Beatles if because there's not enough room in here, and put them in the living room on the walls. And I said, "No, no, I'm not going to go that far. I mean, I have a few Beatles items and things, horror items in the living room, but very few. I'm not going to take over the house." But she's afraid of that thing, and I got to tell you, even though this stuff doesn't bother me per se, I don't think I'd want that Trilogy of Terror Zuni fetish doll in the house looking at. I always think it could come alive. Huh. Tim is asking me if I've ever been to Liverpool. People ask, out of all the questions I've ever gotten here on these live streams, that's the most common question. And I've never been to Liverpool. I keep saying one day I'd like to do that, even though I'm not a traveler. I don't care about traveling. I would like to see England. I would like to go to Liverpool, but most importantly, I would like to go to Abbey Road and cross the street. So, excuse me. So, George Copeland says my favorite Beatles album of all time is Something New. in the early years. My favorite Beatles album in the later years is the White Album. Well, it's amazing. I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever say that Something New, the U.S. album, is their favorite album, Beatles album of the early days. I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear some love for that album, but it's very rare to hear that. Danny Ambrosi is here, the king of chaos. Hello, Danny. Boy, if I knew you were going to be here, I could have done an early morning, thing. But I don't know, Danny, if you still have curlers in your hair or not. I don't know about that. So, so okay, Paulina, rest. Have a rest. Paulina's going to go to bed. Been up all night. Did I know that Klaus Vormann played bass in Manfred Mann? Absolutely, I did not. But it's funny how things are. Sometimes somebody tells you something. Did you know this? And you say, "No, I didn't. I didn't know that." And then you think, "Wait a minute," because you hear a lot of stuff in the over decades of your life, and then sometimes you think, "Oh, well, now that I think of it, somewhere in the back I might have heard that." So I don't know. Have I watched the Chucky TV series, and will you watch season three? Well, the thing when it comes to Chucky, I don't even really know the. Well, I don't think I've ever seen Child's Play, the first movie, believe it or not, all the way through. But I did buy Chucky, the first film, Child's Play. I did buy that, and I have it. So maybe I'll try to get the first one on. The only other one I saw was Bride of Chucky, which was ridiculous. Ridiculously stupid. But I have no interest in Chucky in general. I want to watch the first Child's Play, and other than that, I don't think I really would bother. To tell you the truth. Stevie Nicks. Oh, Barbie. Barbie. Stevie Nicks, the Barbie doll, is all sold out. Okay, Martin McGrath says Liverpool for seeing the Beatles is miles better than London. It's a matter of opinion. What can I tell you? Like, what I like about seeing the Beatles on Abbey Road is besides crossing the iconic street is what I want to see. I want to get a picture of myself like so many people crossing the street. And I would like to go to the EMI studios where they recorded all their great music. So it's hard to beat those two sites. Yeah, I'd like to see the Casbah Club. I'd like to walk by Ringo's house. I'd like to see that pub that Ringo went to on the cover of Sentimental Journey. I don't really care about the Cavern Club because a lot of people go on about the Cavern Club. Oh, let's see the Cavern Club, yada yada yada. Well, the Cavern Club is not the Cavern Club. It's the fake Cavern Club. It's not the original Cavern. You know. So uh, let's see where are we at here. Did I ever see Frankenstein with David Warner as the creature and Robert Powell as Dr. Frankenstein? I've never seen that one. There's so many versions of Frankenstein. That one I have not seen. Okay, and Cherry Carter. Cherry Carter's done a walking London tour of Beatles sites. Hello to Peter Boothroyd. What's up, Peter Boothroyd? I want to see what happens. If it says pin a comment. If I pin a comment, I wonder if it's going to work. I'm just going to try this. I'm going to take just the Cherry Carter one that says, "I watch the Grim Collective YouTube channel. They're in England," etc., etc. It says pin message. I'm just gonna press it. Message pinned. What does that do? It just brings it to the top. Okay, I unpinned it. I thought maybe there was something that you could have flash a message on the screen. That's what you should be able to do. See, I'm not using StreamYard. I'm using regular YouTube right now. StreamYard enables you to have messages across the screen. Um, Regular YouTube does not that I know of. Not that I know of. Thoughts on the John Wick films? No interest. I've never seen them. Yes, Beetle Eddie, this is now live. This is live right now, as Ed Norton would say. You're on the air. Is StreamYard free? There is a free StreamYard you can get. I have the plan where you pay for it. If you get free StreamYard, you can only have 6 people up. You can't have more than 6, which is 6 is enough, right? More than 6 is crazy sometimes. So with the free plan, you can have 6 people. And but you have that annoying duck up in the corner. There's like a logo with a duck's face that you have stuck. If you do the plan where you pay, you can have up to 9 or 10, I think, people up, maybe more. I don't know. So there you go. What's for breakfast today? I haven't decided. I mean, usually I'll have eggs or something like that, but I haven't really decided yet. And I won't be having breakfast, actually. It will be more like brunch, because by the time I eat, it's going to be like probably around 11 a.m., even 11:30 a.m. by the time I get done. If I decide to go and do my walk today, which I have to do because I've missed a couple of days walking. I will try to walk every morning. Do you like the Rocky Horror Show? It's all right. A lot of questions today. I'm sorry, folks. A lot of people ask me, and I say, "Oh, I don't do this. I don't care about that. I don't like that." I'm not a big Rocky Horror guy. I do like the Time Warp song. I do like that song, but yeah, not a big fan. Let's see. What about Menlove Avenue? I don't know what about it. It's not very. Well, it's Menlove Avenue is a John Lennon album for completists. I don't think that's really like a standout album. Will I be having ketchup with those eggs? You're damn right, unless some moron forgets to put the ketchup. But there you go. When I go into New York, do I do the normal tourist things? Well, I haven't been to New York City for a long time. Here, let me tell you. I always said it's been, how do you say, overrated for people who've never been to New York City. I always defend New York City, and I say, oh, you think people are going to get mugged and people are going to get murdered, people are going to get killed, all this stuff. I'll never go to New York. And I always say, well, that's um, overstated, and that's an exaggeration. That's like a myth about New York City. New York City is fine. However, having said that, now today in I don't know, the last 5 years, I'll never set foot in New York City if I can help it. I mean, I've been there. I've been there. In fact, I say I never set foot. I actually went there with Robert S. We hung out and to see Ringo. Had a great time. If you saw the video, I did a video where we went to see Ringo Starr. That was just not this past summer that just happened, but the summer before. So I did go into New York City, I should say, once that I can recall. Since COVID, I've been afraid of the COVID thing, and also, you know, people are getting killed on the street in the broad daylight. There was a video the other day of a young couple getting one man got stabbed to death. Listen, this is happening everywhere in the big cities, certain big cities. I'm not going into details here. Read between the lines. Certain big cities, okay, you having chaos and murder and crime and corruption gone insane because nobody wants to do a damn thing about it. Nobody wants to arrest anybody. Nobody wants to have uh, wants to let the cops do their job, you know, and stuff like that. So criminals know they can rob, steal, pillage, loot, and kill, and nothing's going to happen to them. All right. So anyway, see this big long tangent I went on. The bottom line is, yeah, it's always been overstated and exaggerated that New York is this horrible place. It's not. Now, though, it kind of is. Right now, at the present time, until things calm down, I would never go there right now if I can help it. Ugh, long answer. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Oh wow. Oh, but you asked me. I'm sorry, Dan. You I hadn't even answered Dan's question. Dan asked me, "But do you do the normal touristy things?" No. There's an old saying that a lot of people who live in New York, like I've never been to the Statue of Liberty, for example. Never been. I have been to the top of the Empire State Building, and before the World Trade Center got torn down, I had been to the top of the World Trade Center. But usually typical New Yorkers, your typical New Yorker. doesn't do the things um, that New York is known for. That's mostly a tourist thing, believe it or not. Would a future 2023 mix EP of Free as a Bird, Real Love, and Now and Then interest you? Yes, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. See, I always say I'd like to see a future mix of the EP with the Beatles, or if you want to call them the Threedles, all that, um, whatever. If you want to see them, as far as I'm concerned, it's the Beatles. By the way, I don't, and especially with Martin McGrath lingering around here. And I'm not double down, backtracking on that or changing my mind, I should say. Um, but anyway, yeah, I would like to see that. But the catch is, I'd like it to be remastered. We need a cleaner version of "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love" with John Lennon's voice more prominent. All right, what do we got here? Okay, Cherry Carter says, "Wouldn't you like to visit John's childhood home?" Yeah, I guess it's not the biggest thing in the world to me. I wouldn't like. I don't know. Seeing Paul's home, seeing John's home, sure, why not? I could stand there. Ah, here I am. That's the place he was in. I wouldn't mind. Sure. Let's see. I want to get to. There's a question about the movies. I'll get to that soon. Hold on there. Boyan Archer. Hold on. I want to address that in a minute. All right. Who was the biggest celebrity you have ever met? In my opinion. Well, first we have to define what meet is. Charlton Heston, maybe when my favorite actor, Charlton Heston. I met him. I came 3 times. Really. That's probably one of the biggest actors. I'm trying to think. Well, I did get Paul's autograph, Paul McCartney's autograph, but that he would be the biggest. But that didn't work out exactly. It was not a one-on-one experience. It was more like he was there and he signed autographs inside the hotel, and his assistant presented the autographs to us. But anyway, let's move on because I want to get to the movie question. I see there's a movie question there. Before I get to that, any update about Bazooka Joe? Bazooka Joe, the guy who is the owner of the record store I always show on here on my channel. He went in for a biopsy for his prostate. He may have prostate cancer. They're not sure. He had an enlarged prostate, and I haven't heard the results yet, but I hope to hear the results today. Okay, all right. So Boyan Archer says, "Hey Joe, came across your movie review channel for the first time today and really enjoyed your Saw 10 review. I was gonna wait for Netflix to get it, but I'm now so intrigued I might go to the cinema. Please go to the cinema if it's still there. You got to go if you want to see Saw 10. Please go now, today, or I don't know if it's still going to be there this weekend because I heard the movie's only going to last a week or something. So get there as soon as you can. But I want to say I'm glad you saw my movie channel. I want to promote my movie channel here again. And again, I found a title that I love that I'm probably going to stick with. It's called Mayo's Offbeat Movies, and and the reason I did that was primarily because most of the movies I like are horror, science fiction, fantasy, cult, odd kind of movies. That it's not limited to that. There are also regular non horror type movies I'm going to talk about too. I like everything, comedies, dramas, but the main focus, my bread and butter, so to speak, is going to be the horror and science fiction stuff. So check that out. Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Let's see. Tim Elliott, do you think we will get remixed stereo versions of She Loves You and Love Me Do? Well, I don't see why, although it's early in the morning. Let me stop. I do see why because we're supposed to get the Red album. Duh. I mean that's the whole idea. Yeah, that's why you're asking that. I don't know. If we, yes, I think. Now that I think about it, yes. I'm sorry. I'm going to backtrack my answer to that because it's early in the morning and I'm not thinking. But yeah, am I enjoying the New York fog? I didn't know there was a fog. You saying there's a fog outside right now here? I don't know. Didn't know that. So, hello, Thomas. Thomas Crook. All right, good to be here with everybody. We're 30 minutes into it. A lot of good questions. A lot of people here hanging out. I really got to like finish this room a little bit. I tell you, I really do. I mean, there's so many things I got to do here. This tiny room, but it's a small bedroom. This room. Uh, Woodland Goblin asked me, "Will I make a public video when I hear the results of how my store owner Joe is doing?" I think what I'll do is I'll leave that up to him because he was the one who asked. He said, "Do you think I should?" He kind of said, "What do you think?" He asked my opinion. Should I make a video? Video? Should I tell everybody on your channel? Because there are a lot of people that'll pray, and help out with good thoughts and prayers. And I said, well, if you're asking me, I think that's a very good idea. You know, so I'm going to ask Joe at the store. Maybe he's watching now. I don't know. Who knows, Joe? If you're watching, pop in here. You know, um, he was very touched, of course, by everybody's comments and well wishes. By the way, I know that much. Yes, indeed. Yeah, yes, Cherry Carter. I actually do have Tubi. Yes, I do. I don't watch Tubi. Once in a while, I played with it, but yeah, they got a lot of good stuff on Tubi. These early episodes of Green Hornet and Batman, the 1940s. I actually have some up there. I have the Batman 1940s uh, serials, and I also have Superman, early Superman, Kirk Allen. Yeah. Okay. Beetle Eddie saw yes at the Westwood Westbury. It is a great venue. That is true. It's definitely a great venue in Westbury. All right. Will I get the Red and the Blue albums, the new albums, on vinyl, CD, or both? No, I didn't even give that a thought. You know that? Didn't give that a thought. Well, I'm gonna wait to see on that. If it's all new, and if they add, if especially if they add now and then to the track list, I may get the vinyl as well as the CD. Or definitely the CD, but we'll see about that. Because I do try to collect everything, all the official releases. I try to collect, but I hope there's something like different enough about the appearance of these things that they're more interesting from the collector's point of view. That it's something different. Yes, I agree. Back Bacon and Beer says Captain Marvel is probably the best of the serials in the 40s. I agree with you. I have that too. And do you know I've only seen a couple episodes? I have that serial too, The Adventures of Captain Marvel, starring Tom Tyler. And for people who don't know, Tom Tyler actually played the mummy in the movie The Mummy's Hand from Universal Pictures. So, hello to Naz, 1967. Dave Pounds. Hello, Dave Pounds. Wishing Joe the best. Absolutely. Yeah. Captain Marvel is not Captain America. He's Shazam, isn't he? Isn't he Shazam? I don't know. I'm not the biggest comics guy, but I know he yells Shazam and he turns into, I think he yells Shazam and he turns into the superhero. I think it's a kid, it's a teenager, or is that Captain Marvel? I I don't know who that, or Captain. It's not Captain America. Tell me what the story with that is. He's a teenager, I think, and whenever he yells Shazam, he turns into this grown man, the superhero. I love that. It's great. As I say, I got so much stuff I have yet to pursue. Check out my movie channel. I'm doing a lot of horror themed movies. If you're into that, for Halloween, it's what I call my Halloween Mayothon. Get over there for the Halloween Mayothon, folks. What's a Mayothon? That's a whole month of watching horror movies. Still waking up, folks. You know, it's weird. I'm drinking this water, boy, and this water is actually giving me more and more belching. I shut the mic off. It belched a couple of times. Sorry, I don't know. You can't, what the hell's going on here? Early in the morning, still trying to get my senses together. You know, I don't want any more water right now. The more water I drink, the more I'm feeling bloated and gassy. I don't know why. Water is supposed to be so good for you to drink water, and there you go. Am I a fan of the old Buster Crab, Flash Gordon? Boy, I'm batting 1,000 today, aren't I? No, I'm not a fan of Buster Crab. You know, Flash Gordon. Peter Boothroyd is watching me on a bus in Spain. How cool is that? Okay. Cherry Carter says, I enjoyed your Exorcist review. There is one fact that you overlooked. It was the pre film excitement. Told my big sister we were going. She said I may need counseling after, warned me about seeing it. Yeah. Yeah, there definitely was pre-film excitement, no doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely, I mean, it was like, because it was different in 1973. We hadn't been exposed to that much stuff, or 1974, hadn't been really exposed to that kind of stuff. It was really intense, and the people were afraid to go. People couldn't handle it. They'd walk out. Um, Hello, Caleb. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you, and the rest of the day for myself. Yes, The Pope's Exorcist with Russell Crowe. Well, that's part of the thing. Well, I hear that's a pretty good movie. I haven't seen it, but the thing about The Pope's Exorcist is that there's so many exorcism movies. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. There's all kinds of foreign films that came out about exorcism. There's a movie called Beyond the Door, which is kind of an exorcist ripoff. It's hard. So many things there. Yes, Cherry Carter says, actually, even the suggested thought of a girl using a crucifix in that manner was enough. Even today would struggle to get approved. Early 70s, incredible. It is amazing that they were able to do that. I mean, even today you couldn't do it. But as it's presented in the film, it's not really doing that. I mean, I know that's what she's supposed to be doing, but the way it's presented is more like a violent act, self mutilation more than anything. So And I'm thinking about that scene now as we sit here. That really is a horrific scene. I've said this in my video. I've seen this movie over 100 times, it seems like, and I know it's coming. I know every frame of the movie. I know exactly what's happening. So it's not a surprise. If I had never seen that before, it's terrifying and disturbing. But I've seen it so many times already. So a movie like that, you got to kind of like, if you're reviewing it or talking about it, you kind of have to put yourself in the perspective of when you first saw it and you didn't know it was going to happen, or maybe they talked about it and there was gossip. You knew that there was a scene like that in there because people were talking about it, all the hype. Yeah, that's true. The original Exorcist movie was actually based on a boy's possession. Actually, I mean, that's what the book was, based on, really. William Peter Blatty wrote the book and the screenplay for the movie, and it was based on a boy's in Africa, I believe, possession. It's weird, folks. I'm sitting here and I feel incredibly gassy, like, man, as mm, I just let out a couple of belches. Sorry, it's like, wow, where's this coming from? I don't know about any of you, but sometimes when I'm first getting up in the morning, everything's like unsettled. It takes a while. Man, I could feel like stuff sizzling. Now, I don't agree with that. Danny Ambrosi says Catholics are not supposed to view The Exorcist. I disagree with that. I was born and raised a Catholic. I consider myself now just a Christian, and I don't follow like strict religious stuff. But first of all, the people who made The Exorcist, there's actually um, priests in there. The Catholic Church actually was consulted and actually participated in the movie, and a couple of the actors are actual real priests. So just so you know that. I mean, I know, 'cause I don't believe in all that. Oh, you can't eat meat on Fridays. Oh, you can't do this, or you'll turn into a pumpkin. Whatever it is. You know, I, I, I have Christian beliefs pretty much. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I'm not perfect. But as far as hardcore fundamentalist Catholicism or any kind of religion, fundamental religion, that's, to me, that's man-made stuff. They just like, where is that all coming from? Okay, Caleb says, I may have missed your video if you already covered it, but did Ringo ever release the country EP? No, it's going to be a while. First of all, his first EP is coming out on October 13th. So it's coming out later in the middle of this month, and it's not going to be the country one. The country one's not coming till later. My country one might not even come out till next year sometime. So there you go. I ruined a friend's 21st. Hadn't long seen it. My friend was filming this girl's 21st. I was walking around following my friend with the camera saying, "Your mother, etc." in hell. I know the one you mean. Yeah, the Exorcist quotes. Yeah, yeah, that won't win you many friends. That line. Yeah. Danny says, I could hear Danny in his voice. I have the movie, Joe. I could hear, I could hear your voice saying it. Yeah, God's got bigger things to worry about than whether you eat a burger on Fridays. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Back Bacon and Beer says the girl with the scene in The Exorcist with the girl in the crucifix is like Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You think you see more than what you actually do. Yeah, I know, but doesn't you see enough? I mean, I mean, there's blood and stuff there too. But yeah, I know what you mean. So Woodland Goblin is fattening himself up. He's eating a bagel and 2 donuts, you fat pig. Just kidding. It's hard, it really is hard, Last night I had a bowl of cereal at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, you don't do that. You don't eat at night. Not supposed to eat at night. That's probably why I'm sitting here a little gassy or in disarray. Oh, that happens to the best of us, Woodland. A lot of people break down. It's tough. It's not easy. I'm also thinking that I'm going to maybe start doing more Q&A live streams, but with myself over on my movie channel, Mayo's Offbeat Movies. I don't know when, but I'm going to try to do a regular thing. I just don't know if there are enough of an audience over there. That's the only thing, I don't know if I have enough people. Let's see. Yeah, snack on watermelon. Yeah, I love watermelon. No problem with that. Do I like hummus? Yes, I do like hummus, and I do have hummus occasionally. A little hummus with chips, salt. Actually, I have salt-free chips and things like that. Yeah. What is the topic? The topic is almost anything within reason. There's no specific topic. And how is Joe of the record store? I was saying I don't know yet. I hope to maybe drop by there if I can sometime today and see how it's going. Because and I'll let people know if he wants, or it's up to Joe. I want to, depending how he's doing. So there you go. So I wonder how many of you poor suckers out there are getting ready for work here in the East. Sorry, I shouldn't rub it in, but it's good to be retired. So so back bacon and beer prefers the internet in the morning rather than the talking heads on the morning talk shows. Well, you got this talking head, okay? And I'll talk your freaking ears off. All right. Running out of things to talk about. I've been here, 47 minutes. Wow. It is amazing how fast like an hour can go when you're doing this. Yeah, nothing to make my breath smell. Woodland doesn't eat garlic. He uses lots of toothpaste and Listerine. Well, it doesn't last all day. Believe me, doesn't last all day. Okay, Beatletti, that's a good question. Will I be seeing the new Exorcist movie in the theaters? Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow is the official premiere. Some people have seen it already, but it's the official premiere of the Exorcist Believer, and I'm going to see it tomorrow, and I think it's going to suck. I mean, I'm going there with the lowest of expectations. I do not expect this to be a good movie. I've seen the trailer, I've seen clips. I don't think it's going to be that good at all. And just the only question is it going to be decent or not, good or not good? And the question is it going to tarnish the original in any way? Yes, Woodland Goblin. There is. Well, there's supposed to be two girls. One is, two different girls. And what's the difference? What do you mean by that? Come on. Um, the new Exorcist movie is supposed to be a direct sequel to the original. It has Ellen Burstyn, the mother who played the mother in the original Exorcist, is back. She's at least 90 years old, and she's back. Excuse me. And right now, the Exorcist movie, which isn't even officially out yet, only has a 6.7 on IMDb. That's terrible. Sorry, folks. I could clear my throat and stuff. Don't get it. I really am not expecting anything from that movie yet. So I'm gonna maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, or maybe I'll think it's just what I expected. Yeah, Woodland says matinee shows are the best during the week. Well, it depends. Sometimes it is fun to see a movie with a good crowd that appreciates the movie, doesn't ruin the movie for what gets into it together. But yeah, I always said that one day when I retire, I'm gonna be seeing movies all the time. I'll be going to so many matinees. It'll be great. And it turned out that little did I know, there's not going to be anything I really want to see. Yeah, Ringo fell recently and got sprung right back up. 83 years old. He takes a tumble on the stage, comes down on his knee, gets up and continues, and seems to be okay. Pretty amazing. Ringo's in good shape. I'm just going to plug again if people don't know. Some people have been asking me, when is my Talk More Talk show going to come back? On that station. You can go over to the channel Talk More Talk, and the next show is going to be October the 9th if everything goes as according to plan. It's going to be it's going to be a show about John for John's birthday. And Woodland makes a really silly comment as usual. Thank God it wasn't Paul. What are you talking about? It's okay if Ringo falls, but thank God at least it wasn't Paul. It's only Ringo. What is that supposed to mean? You know? And Paul has fallen on stage before, and he fell into that big hole as well. And thank God it wasn't Paul. I don't know if you mean that Paul is not in as good shape as Ringo. I don't know what you mean. Ringo takes falls better. Well, how do you know that? Paul, Paul fell a few times. He seemed to take it okay. Just so you know, all kidding aside, I don't put up with that. Two things I don't put up with here much. Number one, Yoko bashing. If you want to bash Yoko, oh no, you can go to many other places. There's millions of other sites where you could bash her to your heart's content. Not here. I'm under my watch on this channel. That's one thing I don't allow. Although that doesn't mean you can't have negative opinions. If you state opinions on, uh, Yoko, you don't like this, or you don't like that. You state it with respect in a civil way. That's fine. As for and the other thing is, and again, Lingo McHarris is already like, okay, no, I don't get into this stuff about Fall McCartney, Faul, and if he's a phony Paul, and all this stupid crap. That's nonsense. That doesn't fly here either. Although, I mean, I addressed that before. Look, I love Yoko with a heart. Do I hear Beatles music every day? No, absolutely not. I can't remember the last time I played, uh, you know, Beatles music myself. Well, actually, no. Actually, recently, a week ago or something, I played the Abbey Road sessions disc. The extra bonus sessions for Abbey Road outtakes, rehearsals, demos. That's all that stuff. But generally speaking, I don't play the Beatles every day. No way. There's enough of it, out there anyway right now. At Breakfast with the Beatles, they're doing, believe it or not, a John Lennon tribute show. I still think they'll play Paul. Yeah, probably. Well, No, I mean, I don't take it that far. That Breakfast with the Beatles show with Ken Dashow, they do honor John on his birthday. That much they do. But it seems it's got to be October the 9th for anybody to really give John his due. On the other day of the year, maybe not. Are the flea markets still going? I don't know if the flea market around here is still open. I think it is, but I don't go. All right. Mm. Obla di Obla Da is the best on the 2018 remix. I think I remember liking Obla di Obla Da, but I think is it the version that has like the beginning has like a weird late clapping, like it doesn't come on in the right time. It's a little late, like the mono version. I hate that. So that ruins it for me right there. But as I say, and this is Martin McGrath again trying to get a rise out of me. It's the reason he got blocked, and he's back now though. But he says John is the most popular Beatle. Well, I don't really know. Maybe you're not trying to get a rise out of me. He's always saying that to try to like disagree with me. Look, John's my favorite Beatle, but no way is he the most popular Beatle. Not well. Maybe you live in Ireland. Maybe in Ireland, John is the most popular Beatle, but the rest of the world, it's Paul all the way. Well, maybe also not in England. Uh, Paul's not that big. Paul is easily the most popular Beatle. I mean, come on. Are you living in the real world in 2023? Will I reinstate Henry? I feel bad about that, about having to remove Henry. There's a lot behind that, and it's funny. The timing is really weird on that question, and I don't really want to go into it because it's between a friend of mine. So a friend of mine, uh, uh, what you call it? I'm not going to go into the details. Let's put it that way. I won't do that. We were having a discussion last night, but and there's Martin McGrath. You are wrong, Joe. No, there's no such thing in this case. Really, is right or wrong. It's a matter of opinion. It's a matter of conception. Everybody right now, just in your opinion, who do you think right now seems like I'm talking about in the vibe of the things in the world, right? The Beatle world right now. Who seems to be the most popular Beatle? You tell me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. It's a matter of opinion and perception anyway, but I really think it's mostly Paul. Okay, Dan says they in England, if I do go, they do a Beatle festival. Mm, I don't know, Manfred Mann. I didn't ask you. You already think it's just. Here's the thing. Martin McGrath, this is why I block him because he says and he admits it. I love getting under Joe's skin. I love annoying Joe. If you're just going to sit here and pull my strings all the time, and like the next time, and the next time, and the next time, you're going to keep on saying the same thing all the future chats. Then I don't need it. I don't need that. I mean, it's not that I don't want you to have an opinion. He twists it and says, "I'm not allowed." See, this is the fine tuning and twisting that a troll does. Like he'll say, like, "Oh, Joe won't let anybody have a different opinion. He wants to block you if you have a different opinion." No, I'm going to block somebody that keeps on trying to tweak me. There's a difference. You see? I know that's your opinion. You think John is the most popular Beatle today still. I disagree. You stated that 158 times. And if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, you're doing it just to start what's happening right now. You're not doing it to state your own opinion. You're doing it to try to get a rise, which you've succeeded at, you know? So there you go. I disagree. I think that the dilemma with you, Martin, is that you're part troll. You are. It's my opinion. You're a troll, but you're also sometimes not a troll. That's the problem. That's why I generally allow you around here because you have a lot of good opinions and you have a lot of things to share. Other times you just like to wind people up or wind me up specifically, and be a troll. So it's a fine line. You know that. You know that. Woodland Goblin says, "That's great." Woodland Goblin says, "Hey, Martin, then why don't you change your profile picture to John?" Even Woodland Goblin's profile picture is Paul. Well, that goes to show you what I said. He's just trying to get a rise, trying to wind me up. He loves getting under my skin, you know, or trying to. So there you go. And it proves it right there. He's even got a picture of Paul. All right, so let's get back on track for a while as we hit the 1 hour mark. Well, yeah, that's a silly comment. There are people here way more passionate about the Beatles than you are. That's for damn sure. In my experience. Sorry, we have a lull here, a lull in the conversation. Hmm. Now we're going to have Woodland Goblin and Martin McGrath in the comments section argue between each other as to who would win in the Beatles trivia contest of the two of them. I'm sure everybody loves reading that. Yeah, but Eddie, but I'm talking about now in 2023. Lingo McHarrison, thank you for changing the subject. And about Gary Puckett, the Union Gap. Well, Gary Puckett and Peter Noon. I'm glad you liked the video. Everybody's asking me how did Bazooka Joe at the record store make out with his cancer biopsy and stuff. I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. I may see him today. So there you go. As far as this thing about Beatles trivia, ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. I'll show you how much I know about the Beatles. These days, you can go and look it up on the internet. So it's pointless to ask each other trivia questions, in the comments section because people just look it up, the answer. So that's crazy. So anyway, the return of Talk More Talk. Talk More Talk. Watch it. John Lennon birthday special. October the 9th, live, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be back. Tell Mr. Mayo sent you. I like everybody to know that I'm getting people views over there. You know. Um, yep. Also, my movie channel is back with a great name. Again, I changed the name again. If I say this is going to be the last time, I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing: my movie channel name is the final name for the channel, unless unless one day I happen to just be minding my own business and a great title, a really creative title, falls into my lap. The title is now. Again, I'll repeat. I repeated it several times because people are just getting here now that weren't here before. Excuse me. Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna like Bazooka Joe, decide for himself like how much he wants people to know or whatever. So yeah, of course it didn't win on the poll. Mayo's Offbeat Movies didn't win on the poll because it wasn't offered on the poll. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't worry about that, Woodland. I know you're gonna bring that up. Well, first of all, when I do the poll, I mean, there's only like maybe like 40 people that participate, not like hundreds. Do, 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 do. Good morning, everybody in the East. Good afternoon, everybody in the UK. I'm not going to do a John versus Paul poll, okay? But I guarantee you, Paul will come out ahead. Okay, I've had my you have I don't know what experiences you have, but I've had experiences out there in the world. If you go to the Fest for Beatles fans, for example, and a lot of times they'll have trivia contests, and people will get up on the panel. There'll be like four people competing, and the MC Tom Frangione will say, "Okay, who's your favorite Beatle?" And they'll go, "Paul." And then who's your favorite Beatle? Paul. Who's your favorite Beatle? George. Who's your favorite Beatle? Paul. And it's very rare that you get a John vote. If you were to ask people in the 1970s, you get a lot of John. If you ask people right after John was murdered in 1980s, uh, who's your favorite, they'd say John. John is long gone, sadly, 43 years, and a lot of people, especially the younger generation, Generation Z and the millennials and stuff, they didn't grow up with John. They're not really John minded. And these days, John is unfortunately lambasted as a bad man, a terrible person. I saw somebody sent me uh, a video. I didn't watch it. It said something like 25 of the most historic figures who are really bad people, and they had a picture of John on there. Okay, that's the kind of mentality people have about Lenin. Even though, of course, he was the first to admit he had lots of flaws and lots of warts. He's a human being, but he's not all bad. He was not all bad. That's insane. So don't give me this stuff that John's the most popular Beatle, still or most liked Beatle, or whatever it is. That's just not true. But then again, your experience may vary over there in good old Ireland. So, well, John didn't really declare that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus like he was boasting. You know that, Eddie. It was misquoted. If John was alive today, I honestly don't know what his political views would be. I don't want to get too far into politics, but I don't know what they would be because John always changed his mind. And near the end of his life, the last interview recorded with him hours before his death on the last day, December the 8th, he sounded a little bit more towards the right than he ever had. So who knows? You don't really know. Cherry Carter's right. John could also be incredibly kind, but you know what, Cherry? They don't want that to be. That's not the narrative anymore. They follow narratives today. They don't. They want things to be a certain way, and the news is not fair. The news is controlled. The news only prints things they want you to know about. They hide other things. That's the truth. The media, sad. We're really in dark times. Dark, dark times. And I don't think the genie can be put back in the bottle and go back to better times. I don't see it. But I really, I hope. But in the meantime, I have all this nostalgia. Excuse me, I'm moving the desk here. I have all this nostalgia and things of the past to keep me happy every day. Oh yeah, the Brian Epstein movie. Oh, forget it. Oh, forget it. When they make that Brian Epstein movie, I think they are going to make it. And when they do, I mean, I'd like to see that Brian Epstein movie. I would, but the problem with the Brian Epstein movie, I can tell you right now, it's going to be completely focused on one thing and one thing only, as if that's all the man was about. You know, as if the man, you know what I'm talking about, as if the man didn't have any other aspects to his personality or his likes, what made him tick as a human. It's all about going to be one thing. So we know that. Hello, Stephen Schnee. You are the first, and I like it. I like it. It's very clever, and your early bird can sing. You know, I wonder if I should use that as the title. Oh man, that's true. Brian Epstein was the glue that held the Beatles together. I like that, and that's true. That is true. Strawberry Fields is John Lennon's song. Let's get Paul out of it. I don't want to hear all that Paul supposedly did for Strawberry Fields, even if he did help. It's John's song. Do you want me to say that John did a lot for Michelle by having the middle eight in there? Do you want me to say that? There's I forget what it is. There's a some kind of interview with the Beatles around the time Yesterday was being recorded, and it indicates that John might have come up with the word yesterday. I don't know about that for sure. Do you want me to talk about how everybody else had a lot to do with Eleanor Rigby? Eleanor Rigby is the best example. Paul doesn't want to say George Harrison came up with the line, "Ah, look at all the lonely people." That is the crux of the song. That's the most important chorus, and George Harrison came up with that, and other people contributed. But Paul never tells you that in his books or anything like that. He wants Eleanor Rigby all for himself. So that's what I don't like about Paul. He wants to kind of needle in there and rip pieces of John's songs out. I did this, I did that, but he doesn't want anybody to know that John had something to do with Michelle. He doesn't want anybody to know that George and John and others it was a kind of a multi group effort with Eleanor Rigby. He doesn't want people to know that because he wants Eleanor Rigby to be one of his masterpieces. So let John have Strawberry Fields and let Paul have Eleanor Rigby. Fair enough. It should be. Alan C. Records. Hello, Alan. Good to see you here. We'll get together one of these days. And, by the way, Alan, I forget, are you going to be going to the Beetle Fest in February? And if you are, please shoot me a message to remind me to bring the Pete Best autograph that I got for you. I got a Pete Best autograph for Alan, and I haven't seen him. Or I saw him once since then, but I forgot it. I forgot it. And he reminded story. He said something like, "Bring Pete Best with you." I remember I was gonna see him and he goes, "Hey, bring Pete Best with you." And I thought, "Ha, good one. Yeah, my friend Pete." Because I had met Pete. I got a Pete Best autograph and I had met him in person. So when he said, "Bring Pete Best with you," I thought he meant jokingly, like my new friend, my new best friend Pete, bring him to the Beetle Fest. I forgot that I had the autograph for him. Of course, George Martin was essential for Eleanor Rigby. Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely. How could anybody dispute that? And it's the same thing with Tomorrow Never Knows, really. Tomorrow Never Knows is primarily thought of as John's song, although we know, and nobody disputes it because Paul's talked about this for a long time. Paul, the tape loop, the weird sounds you hear in Tomorrow Never Knows are Paul's. Those are experiments that he was doing on his own tape recorder, and all those weird chants and loops and things are Paul's baby. So really, it's a joint effort. Tomorrow Never Knows, but generally people think it's like, and I agree that it's mostly a John invention because he's singing it and stuff, and he came up with the idea, I believe, of the Tibetan Book of the Dead and all that. But whatever. Of course, Alan, we could always make arrangements to me to mail you if you want me to mail you the Pete Best autograph. But that's it should be okay. I put it in cardboard and stuff and make sure it didn't get damaged. So let me know about how you feel about that. But unless you can wait to be in person. I love there's a little battle going on here between Woodland and Martin McGrath. Yeah, I'm sorry. This laptop is bouncing around a lot here. I keep moving it, keep touching it, and it's moving. The desk, see the desk lately is very shaky. What is that? It never happened that much before. The guitar on Tomorrow Never Knows is Taxman backwards. All right, let's stop discussing. The reason I say this is because we need comments from other people in here. I mean, discuss what you want a little bit, but I'm waiting for comments that I can react to. This is my stream, so the idea is supposed to be that I'm responding to you guys and interacting with you guys, not that you two are having a private argument or getting along. Look like they're getting along. That's good. Whatever works for you, Alan. Whatever works for you. Hello, Marcus. Good morning. Too early. This chat is too early. Not for me. It isn't. Hoo-hoo. 8 o'clock is kind of late. Look it up. Greet the brand new day. All right. Don't be afraid, folks. Anybody else there that has comments to make, don't be afraid of these guys. That you're not intruding on their conversation. Oh, it's too early for that tired feud. I'm sorry. Okay. See what you made me sing for nothing. Yeah, you made me subject people to my singing voice for nothing. You know. Do I think Rubber Soul will be the next box set? Yeah, yes, I do think Rubber Soul will be the next box set, only because Giles Martin, after Revolver came out, I think he said that Rubber Soul would be the next. There's no release date on it or anything, but Marcus can't wait for the new re-release of the Red and the Blue albums. Well, at this point, it's been so long, I don't care anymore, to tell you the truth. I'll tell you this much: I'm going to be away in Oklahoma for a wedding in some of November. So I hope that if anything goes on in November, it isn't the days that I'm stuck in Oklahoma. What about a film on Alan Klein? How about you? What did you write and direct a film? Directed and written by Cherry Carter. Screenplay by Cherry Carter. The Alan Klein story. How about that? Another reason I like to come on early sometimes like this. First of all, like I said, I'm an early bird. I'm an early guy. I like doing early chats. But also, it gives different times for different people. Sometimes I do night chats and people can't make it or whatever. People are working during the day. So if you do different chats at different times, there's more opportunity for more people to come on who might not ordinarily be there. Woodland asked me, "Is this when you are the happiest in your life?" What do you mean, the time of day that I'm the happiest? Definitely. My favorite time of day is like 7 a.m. to around 3. For me, 3 o'clock. Once you get to 3 p.m., the day's getting like like too late. I like 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. mostly. That's my favorite time of the day for sure, by far, especially if it's a nice day. When the Metamucil hits, I do take Metamucil, but I don't want to get into too many details with that. But let's put it this way: I lost my gallbladder. I had my gallbladder taken out in 2002. Okay, and I don't recommend that. I mean, obviously, if you really have to have it done, you have to do it. I think a lot of times people do that. Doctors do that because you can live without a gallbladder, and I think they like to buy yachts, get expensive trips to Italy and stuff, and Paris. And I think that's why they take a lot of gallbladders. But anyway, having said that, it leaves you with problems. And let me tell you this, let's just say it's difficult sometimes getting around, and you have to always be ready. That's all I'm going to tell you. Whatever it is, what it is. I actually use Metamucil for the opposite effect. I don't use Metamucil for what you might ordinarily think. I use it to because it works both ways. I use it for the opposite benefit. Speaking of which, this is about the time that I take. I usually take the Metamucil cocktail uh, between 8 and 9 a.m. usually. Isn't this fascinating? Hey, you never know what's going to come up here, right? We're going to talk about. Never know. What about unclogging your arteries? My arteries are pretty damn good. I've had them checked. Meanwhile, Woodland Goblin just said by his own admission that he packed his face with donuts and shit this morning. So, what's on my bucket list? Wow, I actually have achieved a lot on my bucket list. Wow, one of the my bucket list is to have a really quick, hopefully, hello and personal meeting with Ringo or Paul. Yeah. Also, seeing Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits and getting a picture with him and an autograph that was on my bucket list, and I got that. Um, I don't know really. Uh, Everything's good. Old school is asking on the Bazooka Joe. Bazooka Joe from the record store. I have not gotten any updates on how he did with his procedure. I may talk to him later on today. So if I talk to him, I'm going to ask him, "What do you want me to tell people?" Or maybe he'll want to do a video. I don't know. So what about it? Yeah, well, I guess that's on my bucket list. Yes, a near mint butcher cover. I'd like to get a really mint butcher cover, sure. And not all my bucket list stuff are related to music or Beatles, but sometimes you can't come up with the answer when you're asked. Skydiving is not on my bucket list. No, 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 no. No, I can assure you of that. That's not on my list. Any record shows this month? Well, actually, there was just a big record show on September the 30th, and I did not go. I did not go to the record show. And I found out Julio and Richie had gone, but I didn't go. Pete Best used to sing vocals. He had like some time back in the day when he was with the Beatles. He used to sing occasionally, and he's done records on his own. Did I have Atari in the 80s? The Atari games. I had the Pong thing. Remember, you had the two little paddles here. The ball would go. You move the paddle. You go ding, and then it would come down here, and you'd go bing, and you knock the ball back. I had that. Have I ever heard the Tremblers, Peter Noon? Not great. Yeah, I know Stephen. Yeah, I know. See, I got to take a moment here to promote Stephen Schnee. So Stephen Schnee, check out his channel. The CD Junkie. He also has that great show that everybody raves about to me, the Ski Lodge, which is on Tuesday nights. So you might want to go over to Stephen Schnee, CD Junkie, and see the Ski Lodge show. But what I like about, I gotta say, what I appreciate about his situation is the way he presents things. He plays a lot of different stuff, gets people into a lot of different music. Okay, and that's like Rob Skewer, my friend Robert S. Rob Skewer. He has a channel where both these guys like present a lot of different things. So they're your one stop or 1-2 punch stop to go for different stuff. But anyway, regarding Peter Noon and the Tremblers. No, no, I haven't heard anything, but that that is interesting. I mean, I know about the Tremblers. I definitely know about it, but I haven't heard it. But that's something that I would not be adverse to hearing because it's got Peter Noon. If Peter Noon is on vocals, to me, it's all about Peter Noon. I don't give a damn who's who's in the band. I don't care whether it's Herman's Hermits, whether it's the Tremblers, it's the vocals of Peter's. So okay, no problem, Stephen. Hello, Daniel. Have I listened to the first episode of Paul McCartney's podcast? No, and I'm drawing a blank on that whole thing. I didn't even know the deal with that. Oh, again, I got a little bit of a glitch here. I hope everything's all right with the internet. What did I think of the Beatles cover band concert you saw? Are you talking about Fab Four? It was very good. It was very good. They're very good. They really do a good job. They're able to really sound like the Beatles and stuff. But the show that I saw, I just felt they could have thrown in a more obscure songs. It seemed like they did too many of the hits. But I've heard that they sometimes change it up. So the Paul display is not in this room at the moment. It's in the living room. Right now it's in the box in the living room behind the sofa. But the idea is I'm trying to think where I'll put it. I'm thinking I may put it over here on this side here. But, when I make my regular videos, as you know, for my channel, my regular videos, I don't use this angle. I kind of take the camera here and I kind of go this way, and you see my record. You only see this door here, so I really don't know if you're going to see it most of the time in the videos. What would I say is the best song on Abbey Road? Well, that depends on my, you know, uh, time of the listening to it. It changes. But I really think Here Comes Something is probably the best song. Something is probably the best song on Abbey Road from a objective standpoint, not personal. If you say, like, what do you think is the greatest song on Abbey Road? It's Something. And it's followed by Here Comes the Sun, as far as I'm concerned. George's two songs are the best songs on Abbey Road. Um, and after that, I mean, these days I'm just really tired of something. I don't. I'm gonna make a video. I forgot I gotta get a video going where I say, um, 5 Beatles songs I'm sick of hearing. Okay, and something is one of them. And it's a shame, but that's just the way it is. Overplayed and stuff. So Here Comes the Sun too is overplayed, but I like hearing Here Comes the Sun. If I hear Here Comes the Sun, it puts me in a good mood, and it doesn't matter that it's played out. Um, but anyway, my favorite songs right now these days are not counting the medley. I love the medley, but I consider the medley one big thing. That the medley is my favorite thing on the whole thing. But I would go with something. Here Comes the Sun and Oh Darling are my favorite tracks off there. I used to say Come Together. I used to say Come Together, but that's another song I'm sick of. I don't want to do my whole video here, but so did I ever meet Alan Williams? James wants to know. No, James, I'd never met Alan Williams. It would have been a lot of fun meeting him. No, I never got to see Alan Williams. Hello, Thomas Jean. A salute to Thomas Jean with my alien green cup. A little strong, but good. Now that's water. Well, that's true. I agree with Martin on that. How in the world did Paul get Maxwell's silver hammer on it? Well, he told George that all things must pass is a no. I do not drink tap water. I never drink tap water. I drink bottled water. And I know some people have problems with that. Oh, there's plastic, there's this, there's that. And give it a rest. So tired of it. You can't eat anything. You can't drink anything. Everything's going to give you this cancer. Everything's bad for you. What are you supposed to think anymore? Mm, excuse me. Boy, I tell you in the morning, my throat is really like, when you wake up, not to gross you out, but, you get all that stuff. Takes a while to clear that up. So I'm going to be going soon, folks, right about now. Okay, so let's get last comments in there. I want to go by 8:30. Get myself going for the day. I got lots to do. Um, so anybody, if we have any last comments, please get them in now. I'm supposed to do my usual. This is my Q&A catch up with Mayo, isn't it? I'm supposed to be doing this Saturday. I'll be back Saturday to do this again, just so you know, catch up with Mayo. So a couple of last thoughts from me at the end here. First of all, I'll repeat that Talk More Talk is back in action. We're going to be doing our new Talk More Talk show over at the Talk More Talk YouTube channel live. It's going to be 9 p.m. on Monday the 9th. Uh, I believe it's a Monday. What day is it? Well, anyway, it's John's birthday. Whatever it is, October the 9th, we're going to be doing the next Talk More Talk show dedicated to John. We're also going to be checking up on a lot of the news. There's been a lot of news the last month that we missed that we haven't commented on and given our reactions to. And also, my movie channel is up with a spiffy new title that finally encapsulates everything I really want it to be. It's called Mayo's Offbeat Movies because I basically deal in the offbeat stuff: horror, science fiction, fantasy, cult, unusual. But that doesn't mean it's limited only to that. I have normal mainstream movies too. So check out that. Please subscribe. Um, yeah, okay. Well, that's it. Okay, well, that's it, folks. Thank you all for being here. And that's it. I believe that's all, folks, for now. So, yeah, that's all, folks.